Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about one of the big, boring projects within this space. Can you guys guess what it is? You probably already know from the title, but it's LCX. It's one of those projects that I have personally been following for a very long time. I'm actually a huge fan of LCX. It was one of my bigger plays during 2021. We addressed it during the summer of 2021, and it did a lovely return. And from there on out, we were a big fan of what they were doing. And when we really kind of look at what most people think about LCX, mainly they think, oh, it's just another crypto exchange, right? So let's ignore it, let's avoid it. We don't really need another exchange token. But that's where things are a little bit different. That's where, to me personally, due diligence and doing your own research comes into play. I tweeted this tweet out earlier yesterday, and I said, we are about to witness a global restructuring of the entire monetary system. While most of us see it, considering we keep up with the changes happening internally and externally, most of the general public are in the dark. And I do think that this is true. I think that a lot of people are really kind of, how should I say, distracted by things that are not necessarily valuable. I see a lot of people scrolling on social media every single day. I see a lot of people scrolling through TikTok and YouTube Shorts that are providing zero value to their everyday life. I mean, most people are distracted and completely blind and oblivious to what's really happening in the world. My generation, so full transparency, I'm 25 years old. A lot of the 25-year-olds that I know and that I see, most of them are not even aware of what crypto is becoming. And it's crazy to me because my generation should technically be leaders around crypto. They should know what crypto is doing. They should be, studying and understanding what crypto is because I do believe that this is the next frontier around technological innovation. I do think that the global restructuring of the entire monetary system will be backed by DLT and blockchain technology as well. I think that this is a space that, right now regulators and, the big governments are trying to attack and, kind of avoid because they know that utilizing this technology class and basically adopting it gives up a lot of their control as well. Now, let's take a dive into LCX. So, one, recently, we jumped up to almost 16 cents back in January. I was reporting on LCX during this time, and I did give my outline view on where I will be buying LCX. Basically, it was around 8.5 cents. We actually went a little bit lower. The reason why I said 8.5 cents is because guess what? That's where we kind of trailed on in terms of support. But if you also go back to the 1 year span, look at where 8.5 cents, look at where like 8.5, 7.5, anywhere within this range really. Look at where that is, right? I was expecting us to actually go down to 8 cents. I think that the lowest that we went down to, let me go to the 1 month. So 8 cents was actually the lowest point. So I mean, it's like right around the tops of this. This is like resistance, back testing resistance, flipping it into support. That's like the key thing that we look for. And so far we have bounced. Hopefully, we continue to do so, but it looks like contagion effects and things like that are really kind of leading the way. So I would be patient a little bit on LCX. You might get a better buy opportunity when the markets do open on Monday. I always say avoid buying on the weekend because the weekends, they're usually always bad for trading opportunities and buying opportunities. But LCX you could buy on some of these exchanges like Coinbase, Kraken, Uniswap if you want to utilize a decentralized exchange, Bitra as well. And you could also use the LCX exchange if you want, but there's also other ones down here as well. Which, by the way, if you are buying LCX on any exchange, make sure that you are withdrawing it to your Ledger or DCENT wallet. I think DCENT supports it. I don't know. I mainly use a Ledger for LCX. It's an ERC20 token, so it's going to show up under your Ethereum wallet. Very similar to like if you want to transfer, trying to think, like QNT, right? So let's take a dive into the LCX Vision. So here we have the PDF file, a new kind of global financial technology company. This got posted back in October of 2019. I guarantee you most people didn't even read this PDF file, but we do see introducing LCX, a new kind of global financial technology company. LCX's goal is to become one of the world's first licensed and supervised security token exchanges as a regulated marketplace for digital assets. Now, when we go over here to the exchanges tab, most of these exchanges are in the crosshairs of the SEC, which is also why I don't hold any of my crypto on any of these exchanges. I am exposed on Uphold. I do have like I don't even know how much Casper on there, but my Casper's locked on there. I can't withdraw it. But I have been buying a ton of Casper on MEXC and withdrawing it over to Casper.live to stake. And yeah, but we do see that LCX, if they are becoming this regulated and extremely supervised licensed exchange, they are essentially ahead of everything else. But do you see the core structure that they are going after? They're going after the exchange, the vault, the protocol, a crypto bank, assets, and terminal. All of this is pretty big. It's not just another crypto exchange. Another crypto exchange would be very easy to do, but they are changing everything. LCX wants to provide the key infrastructure for the new market of digital assets and the token economy, which, yes, this is becoming a real deal. Becoming a technology driven finance company, LCX is focused on helping both traditional and crypto market participants make the most out of opportunities arising from the growth of cryptocurrencies and tokenized assets. I think this is a huge area of opportunity for them. I think that this is a big game changer. And like I said, I do think that everyone should be looking into these PDF files. I know that I don't really dive deep into them all that much on this channel. It's just simply because it takes so much time out of the video, and there is a lot of news that I want to cover. But if you guys do want to see more deep dives of like PDF files and going into things like this, leave a like on this video and also comment down below because I'd love to do that as well. I just don't think it's that interesting, and I don't want it to be boring for you guys. But we do see the age of blockchain technology, a new financial order. The collapse of Lehman Brothers and ensuing financial crisis of 2008 unveiled the systemic risk of modern banking. This modern black swan brought the fragility of the global banking network to the fore as banks too big to fail suddenly and violently became central points of failure and undermined the stability of global capital markets, which we're basically seeing right now, right? So how can we fix this? How can we fix the financial system that we know is extremely inefficient today? There's a lot of problems with it. It's illiquid. There's a lot of issues concerning, liquidity. Is the liquidity drying up? Like, what's going on? Well, let's take a look at what LCX is doing. So first off, here we have, it's time to update the system. This is from Monty Metzger, who is the CEO and founder at LCX. Blockchain banking, DeFi monetary ecosystem, Bitcoin, stablecoins, token economy are key elements driving this change. Now this is, quoting Coinbase's new video. It's basically an advertisement for crypto. It's talking about how inefficient like the payment system is. It's time to update the system. And here we have Get My Book, Blockchain Banking, the Future of Money and Finance. Fantastic campaign by Coinbase talking about the key pain points of the current global financial system. Now, as we do look at this, like how can blockchain change this? How can banking itself, how could finance, payments, all of that change? Well, let's dive into this. So here we have blockchain is transforming everything from payment transactions to how money is raised in the private market. Will the traditional banking industry embrace this technology or be replaced by it? Which is also what I talk about quite a bit on this channel, where like I'm like, if this technology is not going to be embraced, it will just replace. Which I always love that saying because it really is the truth. Like, you have this technology, this asset class, if you will, that has gone from $0 to $3 trillion at its all-time highs, and we know that going forward on, it's going to reach more and more all-time highs. I do think that this is a $100 trillion plus asset class. And these big banks, they don't want to adopt it because they don't want to give up control. But we do see back in 2017, Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan Chase derided Bitcoin. It's worse than tulip bulbs. And here we have it won't end well. Someone is going to get killed. Then we do see Goldman Sachs, something that moves 20% overnight, does not feel like currency. It is a vehicle to perpetuate fraud. And no, I mean, like, listen, when we look at crypto, it's been called a fraud so much and a scam and this and that. But as we do look at this, This is the big thing, right? Blockchain technology and DLT have a massive opportunity to disrupt the $7 trillion plus banking industry by disintermediating the key services that banks provide, including payments, clearance and settlement systems, fundraising, securities, loans and credit, trade finance, customer KYC, and fraud prevention. And this does break down everything around this, as you guys do see here. There's a lot of opportunity here for blockchain and DLT technology. And most of this we do talk about, like, clearance and settlement systems. We know that this is a very inefficient model. We know that the payment system today is very flawed. Time, cost, everything associated with it. There's a lot of problems. And when we look at digitization, when we look at DLT and blockchain technology, it's essentially opening the system. And it's also allowing opportunity to thrive. When we look at the current system, it's very closed. It's very, locked off from, innovation. Innovation around finance and banking and just in general, just technology has been stifled outside of the space, and it's a big deal. It's a $7 trillion deal. And this is why I say, like, with what LCX is focused on becoming a bank essentially, it's a big deal. What do you see over here? Blockchain technology market size worldwide from 2017 to 2027. Let me zoom out. I know that this is a little bit crazy. This is like a full diagram, if you will. But here we have, are you currently exploring the use of blockchain slash DLT in payment? And here we have 90% are, 7% uncertain, and 3% no. And here we have the bank's current stage in blockchain adoption. And you can see a few things, like at the forefront of revolution, engaged in production, implementation, involved in POCs with other companies, formulated a strategy or formulating a strategy, looking into the technology as well. And you can see most of 30% are involved in POCs with other companies, or 27% are formulating a strategy. So pretty big deal. And here are their top use cases for blockchain: international money transfers, 60%, securities clearing and settlement, 23%, KYC and AML, 20%, fiat currency payment and settlement, 19%, creating transparency, 19%, decentralized notary, 16%, fraud deterrent, 15%, asset registries, 12%, security issuance and transfer, 11%. And here's all the sources for this as well. And then here's the potential outcomes of blockchain in banking. Global annual cost savings would equate to about $12 billion. I think that it could possibly be higher. But here are the cost savings on central finance reporting: 70%, cost savings on business operations, 50, cost savings on compliance, 30 to 50, cost savings on centralized operations, 50. And here we have 90% of bankers worldwide say their bank is exploring the use of blockchain. And it's completely different than what we will hear on mainstream media. Mainstream media won't tell us these things because they don't want you to know the true potential around crypto, and they don't want you to understand the value behind crypto. It's a big problem. And here we have from the World Economic Forum as well. This goes back to July of 2019. We do see building value with blockchain technology, how to evaluate blockchain's benefits. Now, starting at number 6, here we have the landscape. So the funding source may be a vital contributor. According to Accenture's Building Value in Blockchain survey, more than 64% of blockchain initiatives are currently being funded by IT or research/innovation budgets, implying that the focus is on technology rather than on aligning with the main areas of opportunity for the organization. And here we have, what is it? How can it be used? What value could it have? Can it scale? Can we transform industries/markets? Can we create new products and markets? And this is what we are going to see, right? It's going to start off with a lot of study and research, all that kind of stuff, which we're basically past already. And the next evolution of this is, okay, well, what are the obstacles to adoption? The obstacles right now are: one, regulations; two, interoperability; and three, ultimately, it's just how can we implement it, which almost all of that is solved in a few ways, which we've discussed on this channel. But I really do think that the benefits within a lot of these industries, like, this is what I talk about a lot on this channel, is like, it's not just finance and banking and payments. It's everything: automotive, banking, comms and media, consumer goods and services, energy, healthcare, high tech, everything. Everything that we know of is being disrupted by blockchain and crypto technology. It's ripe for disruption. And where does LCX come into play, right? Well, it's the offering that LCX has. First off, LCX just changed the game. I've talked about it, right? Their LCX Earn, where you could earn 7% on the URT7 tokenized bond, which this is fully regulated. It offers security, regulation, and fixed return of 7%. Now, this isn't available for US based customers. For an example, if you click this, I already reported on this, but just to give you guys a quick insight, it's available to 30 countries, and they do outline them all here. It's also a minimum requirement of 1,000 euros with a limitation to 10,000. Or sorry, it's limited to 10,000 users with a minimum requirement of 1,000 euros, and the issuance amount is 10 million euros. So once it hits 10 million, I don't even know if this has maxed out or not, but um, when we look at this, like this was a huge stepping stone for them because again, like when we look at the traditional banking scene, like we don't have tokenized bonds. We don't have tokenized bond offerings. LCX is doing this. Like LCX is moving faster than anyone else within this space. But that's why when we look at the vision behind this and we look at the disruptions, we look at the areas of opportunity, we look at banking, we look at finance, we look at payments. I do think that the financial and banking and payment technology space is going to be the first one that gets the full-on disruption first. But we are seeing this massive transformation, and it is really around finance. We do see the new financial order. They're talking about the transformation of capital markets. It's an essential element of the fourth industrial revolution, which is powered by technology, but is fundamentally different in its cross-disciplinary nature. In fusing physical, digital, and biological worlds, the Internet of Value will become our new reality that is ubiquitous, much like the Internet of Knowledge is today. In this future world that is operated on the Internet of Value, we will have, here you guys have it, tokenized physical and intangible values, and these crypto assets will be exchanged, managed, and used in seamless, nearly frictionless ways like messaging, mailing, and app services are used today. Like, this is happening, but the only thing that is stopping us is regulatory issues and lack of the appropriate infrastructure to accommodate the Internet of Value, which goes hand in hand with the next generation of capital markets, are the main reasons that we have not yet witnessed the explosion of tokenized crypto assets and the establishing of blockchain banking services. This right here is what we are going to see next. Currently, we see a massive war raging between regulators and this asset class. Once we are over that obstacle, we talk about okay, well, where's the infrastructure? In my opinion, the core infrastructure of everything will be built out on digital rails, aka DLT. I do believe that LCX plays a vital role. I think that the LCX offering, when you go over here to LCX for an example, you go to their website, you go on their website and you look at their products, right? Here's all their products currently, but if you go to the about section on their website and you scroll down and you look at their offerings down here, you could see that the LCX Bank, this is their long-term vision. I think that when we look at this, the main thing about this is the fact that they want to do this, but there's too many obstacles right now in place in order for them to become a bank. But, and this is a big thing, a lot of people talk shit on the exchange tab because LCX as an exchange might not be the best. In fact, when you look at a lot of these volumes, for an example, I just put this to the max volume. So currently speaking, when we look at this, most of the volume on LCX is coming from the LCX Euro pair. After that, it's most of the centralized entities or even decentralized entities. But then after this, we also have another LCX exchange. $70,000 is coming from the USDC pair. Then down here, the Bitcoin pair, 33.6K or so. But the biggest problem is that when you actually go to the exchange itself, a lot of people were having issues with the exchange, meaning, there's not enough liquidity, or there's not this, or there's not that. I want you guys to understand, and I even said this in my other video when I kind of debunked the FUD. It's the idea that this is still a very early on exchange, but it's one of those projects that I feel the need to support because there's so much utility tied to it, their vision, their work path, everything around this. The major names that are tied to LCX, the partnerships that LCX does have, like Quant and HBAR and things like that, I just don't see how this project isn't successful long term. They have huge, huge visions behind it. I really do hope that they can achieve becoming the first crypto or blockchain bank, I think that this is where we are headed. I think that the physical banking area is being completely torn apart. I think that traditional banking is in the past. I think that we are all aware that traditional banking just does not work. Nobody really wants to hold their money in a bank. The earning on holding your money in a bank is fractional. It's like 0.25% national average. It's a big issue, right? So it's a problem. There's no actual benefit for you holding your money in a bank besides the convenience to make payments and, pay your bills and stuff like that through a bank account. Besides that, what the hell is a bank used for? So if we look at this, like the future term, like I think that all physical bank branches are gone. I think that everything is going to go digital. I think that banks themselves will be built out on blockchain technology. It makes sense from a security aspect. It also makes sense from just a tech standpoint. So when we look at this, I do think that if L6 can be the first one to become a crypto bank, just like they've been the first one to tokenize bonds essentially at this level, and become the first, fully regulated, licensed exchange and bank, this is going to be a big project long term, and it's going to be a big problem for the traditional banking and financial world. Um, and I really do think that this is one of those projects that I just feel very confident holding long term. I didn't see any warning signs so far from the team. They've been making a ton of noise lately. I know that recently a big thing was, well, LCX got included in the SEC's probe for Coinbase insider trading, and LCX was claimed as a security token. What token right now in this market is not considered a, in quotation marks, security token? So to me, I look at this token, I hold it in cold storage. I'll hold it in cold storage for a while because I just feel very confident behind this project as well as the team. Obviously, I'm not trying to entice you guys to buy or anything like that. Like, you guys do not need to buy LCX, but I just think that the evolution of finance is upon us. I think that there's a transformative push towards digitization, tokenization, and I really think that this is going to be the next major technological advancement that's going to create a ton of wealth opportunities. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. If you guys are on this, this has been Nick. Peace out, guys.